let me, have you tried it again recently, member car? Or
I'll check right now.
okay, if not, I will send you the PDF.
Yes, it's still not
Member
native.
Carr, I had to click on those and then download and then open in my browser, and that worked.
Yeah, it's not even opening. It's just saying like this is not. I
Yeah,
cannot.
I saw that too. I don't know how I eventually got it to download. I think I just kept refreshing. But
Okay, if anyone else has any issues, just let me know and I'll send you the hard copy because it's small enough to send over email. Member car, you should be getting that in a second.
Thank
Okay, and recording has started, so Tara, it's all you.
great, thank you. This is a public notice for the City of Boulder Beverage Licensing Authority hearing for Wednesday, August 19th, 2026 at 3 p.m. This is a virtual hearing.
Thank you so much. I'll start with the rules of decorum. The city has engaged with community members to co-create a vision for productive, meaningful, and inclusive civic conversations. This vision supports physical and emotional safety for community members, staff, and board members, as well as democracy for people of all ages, identities, lived experiences, and political perspectives. For more information about this vision and the community's engagement process, please visit our website at bouldercolorado.gov. The city will enforce the rules of decorum found in the Boulder Revised Code, including participants are required to sign up to speak using only the name they are commonly known by, and individuals must display their whole name before being allowed to speak online. Currently, only audio testimony is permitted online for public comment. No attendee shall disrupt, disturb, or otherwise impede the orderly conduct of any meeting in a manner that obstructs the business of the meeting. This also includes failing to obey any lawful order of the presiding officer to leave the meeting or refrain from addressing the board. Only one person at a time is allowed to speak unless an accommodation like an interpreter is required. All remarks and testimony shall be limited to matters related to city business. No participant shall make threats or use any form of intimidation against any person. Obscenity, other epithets based on race, gender, or religion, other speech and behavior that disrupts or otherwise impedes the meeting will not be tolerated. Next, I will go ahead and do roll call. Please speak your presence aloud. Member Ginger Barnes,
Member Barnes present.
Member Michael Carr,
Member Carr present.
Member Lansing Crane,
Member Crank present.
Member Brendan Haggerty,
Member Haggerty present.
and Chair Leah Roberts.
Chair Roberts present.
Thank you so much. We'll move on to approval of beverage licensing authority minutes from the July 15th, 2026 here.
Great. Has everyone had a chance to review those, and are there any edits? All right, I'm not seeing any. So I would make a motion to accept the meeting minutes from July.
Member Carr seconds that motion.
All those in favor say aye. Member Roberts, aye.
Member Barnes, aye.
Member Carr, aye.
Crane, aye.
Member Haggerty, aye.
Great, thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll move on to hearing agenda issues from the licensing clerk. I'm happy to report there are no agenda issues. Next, we have general public comments. Oh, I'm sorry. Next, we have matters from Boulder Police Department. That was my bad. Officer Rec is here to chat with you guys.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Excellent. I am always having problems. I am not IT tech savvy. I don't have anything unless anyone has anything for me. No.
Nope.
Okay. All
Thank
right. Thank
you.
you.
Thank you so much, Officer Rick. Now we'll move on to general public comments for future beverage licensing authority hearings. Does anyone have any, is there anyone in attendance that would like to provide public comment for anything that is not on the agenda? I see no raised hands, and I also don't see anyone from the public who's not a licensee, so I'll go ahead and move on. Next, we have agenda item 4, public hearing and consideration of an application filed on July 17th, 2026 from Sylvanta Innovations LLC, DBA Pearl Convenience, 1711 Pearl Street, Suite 101, Boulder, Colorado 80301, Christine Halley, member with 100% ownership and a business mailing address of 8361 Mason Circle, Westminster, Colorado, 80031 for a new fermented malt beverage and wine retail off-premise liquor license. And I see Miss Halley is in the waiting room, so I'll go ahead and promote her. Miss Halley, there we are.
Sorry.
Perfect. That's
Hi,
okay.
everyone.
Hello. Is anyone else going to be appearing with you today?
No, just myself.
Okay. And are you represented by an attorney?
No.
Perfect. I'm just going to go ahead and swear you in, and then I'll hand you over to the chair. If you'll raise your right hand. Actually, sorry, first, can you say your name and spell your name for the record and give your address for the record?
Sure. It's Christine Halley, Kristine Halley. And my address is 8361 Mason Circle, Westminster, Colorado, 80031.
Perfect. Thank you. Now you can raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the statements you're about to give before the Beverage Licensing Authority are true and correct?
I do.
And do you swear or affirm that this premises has been posted for at least 10 days prior to today's hearing?
I do.
Thank you so much. Go ahead, Chair.
Great, thank you. I'm going to read some procedures into the record for you. This is a public hearing before the Beverage Licensing Authority of the City of Boulder to determine whether or not the application of applicant Silvante Innovations, LLC, DBA Pearl Convenience, shall be granted or for a new fermented malt beverage and wine retail off-premise liquor license shall be granted or denied. This hearing is conducted pursuant to the laws of the state of Colorado and the rules of the Beverage Licensing Authority of the City of Boulder. The purpose of this hearing is to receive information, data, and testimony by interested parties in order to enable this authority to make the findings and to reach the conclusions required to be made by state laws as to whether or not license applied for shall issue. Interested parties are the applicant, residents of the neighborhood under consideration, and the owners and managers of the businesses located in the neighborhood under consideration. For purposes of determining who is an interested party at this hearing, the neighborhood under consideration is the neighborhood previously defined by the authority. The authority shall make a final determination of the affected neighborhood prior to determining whether the license shall be issued. Any interested party may speak to the question of neighborhood designation as well as other information relevant to the granting or denial of this application. To the members of the authority, has there been any ex parte communication or any conflicts of interest with this establishment? Chair Roberts, no.
Member Burns, no.
Member Card, no.
Member Crane, no.
Member Haggerty, no.
Great. Then at this time, Christine, if you are ready to proceed, you may.
I am.
Great. Floor is yours.
Okay. So my name is Christine Halley. I am the 100% owner of Silvante Innovations, LLC, DBA, Pearl Convenience. Pearl Convenience is a neighborhood market that really has been serving the community since 2021. I bought the business at the end of May of this year, and we relocated essentially across the street to a bigger location. So it really serves as a convenience store with, convenience items, to-go items, fast food, kind of more like grab and go, nothing fresh like that, but snacks, beverages. And my vision for the store is to bring in the fermented malt beverage and wine retail off-premises license. And I believe that there is a demand and a desire for it. There doesn't appear to be anything like that on the east end of Pearl Street. And I'll tell you, like, the most common question that we get from the people, residents, business owners, tourists as well, is, do you sell wine or beer? So that's what I'm here to do, hopefully. And so I petitioned businesses and residents, and we got we got support. We got a lot of support from them. We got 26 in favor, 0 opposed. One decided to not sign. But all of the answers were very similar, stating that there is a need. So if given the license, I will be conducting sales in a very responsible manner, according to the Colorado law. And yeah, I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Sorry, I was muted. Thank you so much. That was a great presentation. Have you had any experience selling liquor and IDing people in the past? Can you talk about that?
Sure. So a while ago, I did a lot of serving in the restaurant industry, and that was mostly in college. That was a bit of time ago. However, I think the best evidence that I can support with is our tobacco license. So we got our tobacco license quite quickly, and we were actually able to sell that at the start of our opening, beginning on June 1st. And since then, we've been doing that age verification process. So carding everybody that is looking for nicotine or tobacco products. So I think we've really had kind of practical hands-on experience for the last, I guess that's 2.5 months, right, of doing that, and really getting comfortable with that process.
Have you guys come across any fake IDs?
Not to my knowledge. I will say though, there are definitely um, there are individuals who uh, who will come in quite confident and ask for a nicotine product, and they will be refused because they do not have said uh, verification. So of course they're underage, and the often the it's like, I don't have my wallet kind of thing, and then that's so have I experienced underage individuals trying to seek age restricted products? Yes, I have, but I have not encountered a fake ID yet. No.
How do you plan on, well, let me back up a second. Do you have
Sure.
any employees or is it just you?
So I have a part-time employee, and I also have my husband who comes in occasionally on the weekends to help as well.
And have the three of you gone through any type of liquor enforcement or like liquor training?
Uh, so we've had discussions about it. I wanted to wait till this hearing to kind of but I know that we have to do the responsible vending training in person. So I am that's on my radar. But as far as other liquor, we discussed it.
But no
We
formal
need
training.
to, no formal training, no. Mm.
And how do you plan on checking IDs? Like, what is your protocol when somebody
Yeah.
presents you an ID?
So I have, let me see. Let me pull up I do have an alcohol policy that I've written.
Is it the one you
Okay.
provided in our
It,
packet?
it is, yes, yes. So, okay, it's somewhere here, but I could just walk you through the steps. So, it starts at the register. So, somebody's at the register, they want to buy a alcoholic beverage. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to ask for their ID. If they look 21, I know the rule is if they look under 21. I personally would like to err on the side of caution, and even with my tobacco products, I card everybody. Whether it's 50, 60, so that's what I believe I would do. So first we get the ID. We want to take a good look at the photo. Doesn't match who I'm looking at right behind the register or in front of the register. We want to look at the date of birth. We want to really look at if it's altered in any way, if it looks like fraudulent in any way. And I was also given this by Colorado, so I will be reviewing this ad nauseum as well as my employee. And I plan to have this behind the register in case we need to question anything. So if everything looks good, then I think we can proceed with the sale. If it doesn't, if there's any question whatsoever, we will refuse the sale. In addition, if anybody looks intoxicated, the Colorado law is that you cannot serve anyone intoxicated. So again, we will err on the side of caution. If there's any hesitation, any doubt whatsoever, we will not be providing sales.
If you have someone who seems intoxicated that is trying to purchase, how are you going to handle that?
So respectfully, we will refuse the sale. I think I probably need to maybe get a little bit well versed in this, a little bit more, like what is the best procedure to do this, but of course not getting, I guess, hopefully we don't want them to get defensive, right? So there's always that possibility if we refuse the sale. But I think just conducting ourselves in the most professional manner and, saying, I'm sorry, we cannot serve you, this is why. But ultimately it is our decision to serve or not. So if we feel, again, if there's any question, I think there's absolutely physical signs to look for. And yeah, so I think all we could do is be respectful and to the customer and just say, hey, we cannot serve you.
If you come across a fake ID, what will you do with it?
I do need to actually. I think maybe I would like to refer to you, and this would be actually a good point to maybe discuss if we can. I do not know if we have the responsibility to hold it. I don't think that we do. I did look into that a little bit, like the Colorado laws. I wasn't able to find that. I think certain stores and industries are like a dispensary. I do believe that they are required to hold on to it. And maybe bars. I don't necessarily think that is in our realm. But again, I would love to actually get your feedback on what is the correct thing, because I wasn't able to find that specifically for retail stores. So from what I guess I do know and what I have researched, we would, I think, hand it back, but we would, I make a note. And yeah, I would actually love to talk about this, though. I'm not really sure what the answer is. I know in some situations, yeah, you need to take it and to essentially hold on to it and then probably contact the authorities.
I'm gonna see if anybody else has some questions.
Okay.
Member Carr?
Yeah, I was going to say Officer Rec, who's on the call here today, she's our liquor enforcement officer, would love to receive any fake IDs that you come across.
Okay. Okay.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah, and on top of that, Officer Rec is going to be a great resource for you. She is very involved in making sure that the establishments are staying opened and ran properly, and she is not your enemy trying to catch you. She is going to be your resource. So we want to make sure that's on the record as well. Are there any questions from the board for Ms. Holly?
Yeah, Member Haggerty, I have a few. Thanks for the presentation and answering questions so far. Could you talk a little bit about kind of the placement of where you envision the beverages to be inside your store, and kind of I know you submitted kind of a renderings, but maybe talk through that a little bit more. And you mentioned beer and wine and maybe some other items that you might be looking at selling.
Yeah, sorry, I just want to clarify. You said placement of the products? Is that
Yes, yeah,
correct?
in your
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so all all products, all alcoholic beverages will be on site on the per our lease. So on site in our building, nothing off site. We will have two areas where they will be stored. One is a cooler, and one is a storage unit that is only employees can access and myself. And to further kind of tighten that storage, we will be having it's basically a locked locker storage. So that was provided by the previous owners, and I thought that would be a great place to store it. So that would just be for backstock only. And yes, so the cooler will be the place that will be in the store, and that will be where the products are. And we would only be selling that from 8 a.m. to 12 midnight per Colorado law. We'll probably be actually a little bit more in between those two numbers. But yeah, so we will not be able to sell any products before or after those hours. And only employees will have access to said products.
Okay, thank you. None other from me.
Other questions? Member
Yes.
Crane, you came. Oh,
Oh, Member Crane, do you have a question?
I actually hadn't raised my hand, but it did occur to me that uh, we've been talking about malt beverages, if I'm correct here. Uh, do you have any interest in selling wine as well? Is that something that you're going to add to your repertoire at some point?
That's a great question. So originally when I had made this application, I was thinking just malt beverages. Within those these last few weeks, we have gotten a lot of requests for wine. So I guess whatever is under that license, I will consider uh, purchasing from an authorized Colorado distributor, and placing it in the store for sale. So I think my answer would be yes, possibly yes.
Thank you.
So I had a question. So, Pearl Street's very busy, and we've really been talking about a lot of college students up to this point are, underage persons who might be trying to purchase alcohol. But one of the other challenges that some of the other establishments that sell to-go alcohol struggle with, or have struggled with, is folks who are homeless, people who are transient coming through. How would you handle situations like that, where people are maybe in a situation where they are, I don't know, basically preventing people from causing any trouble by taking that alcohol, just consuming it in the store, outside of the store, in the area, and just being a nuisance to other local businesses?
That's also a good question. So I think my best resource would be the police department. Hopefully it never escalates to that level. But if I feel like, there's some kind of unsafe activity going on, or if there's, something in question as what you just presented, and that, that does not follow the laws of this license, I would be contacting authorities, for assistance. I think for the transients coming in and out and not having any confrontation or just buying it, we do have some transient people that do buy things, and there's no issues. Of course, I'm going to treat them as a regular customer, as I should. But yeah, if there's laws being broken, of course I will be contacting authorities and first talking to them and saying, this is not acceptable.
have you considered, or do you guys have an ID scanner?
We don't. So I was originally thinking about getting one. I've looked at quite a bit of them. And then I was told from a customer who is a student, and she said a lot of the IDs, unfortunately, they scan. So I don't know. Maybe this is also another talking point that we can discuss, or if there's maybe resources that I can have. But I don't know if that's the best method. I thought it was, but if an ID, a fake ID, is able to scan them, then I sort of feel like that does defeat the purpose. Um, so yeah, a lot has changed since my day. So I don't know. Truly, I think probably the best is going to be this, and maybe talking to other businesses. I've already actually talked to one of the dispensaries on Pearl, and they are willing to give us a really in-depth training. Just kind of stop by and just watch them for a few hours and see how they do things, and see what they've spotted doesn't look right. And I think just talking to other businesses, and kind of seeing what their protocols are, I think that would also be helpful. So as far as the ID scanner, I yeah, I'm hesitant to buy one.
Yeah, I think we have heard, obviously we have people come before us who say, well, the ID scanner didn't work, and we've
Yeah.
also been told, found out it's because they didn't have their Wi-Fi on,
Oh,
so
geez.
also I would say
Yeah.
that,
Okay.
I don't know, considering how many, and this is me just pontificating, but like considering how many fake IDs are out there and how many of them are good enough to actually fail a scanner, might be a really small percentage. So I don't know about what my friend said, kind of holding up as a good research point. I do have a question. There's a lot of things you've said, like, oh yeah, I'll need to research that, or things are different, or I'm going to go learn from, or I will take the course when. Why didn't you come prepared?
So I feel like I did. I've done as much research as I was able to do. I want to be transparent though. I don't want to make up a an answer that I don't have. So I just want to be honest with you. And um, I think, even establishments who do have a license are still learning. It is changing constantly, like the IDs that we just talked about, and how can we manage that. So I think it's an evolving education that you constantly have to keep up with. But I don't think in any way, shape, or form that I'm not prepared. I'm being transparent with you. If I don't know the answer, I'm going to tell you I don't know the answer.
Sure, I appreciate that. Uh, of course. I guess I was just kind of surprised you guys weren't trained yet, or like went through some sort
No, I
of.
thought my understanding was that we have to be trained within 2 months of getting the license,
That might be
but we don't have the license yet, so
sure.
I don't want, yeah.
Sure, maybe by law. Yeah. I guess we don't see that very often. People usually have, so we can
Oh,
see their certificates. And so,
oh, well, I can get right on that if I'm sorry, I did not know that was procedure. Yeah, I'm
no
happy to
worries.
do that though. Yeah.
Yeah. You sound like you're very invested and that you really care.
Mm, I do. I really do.
Any other questions from the board?
Really, just one comment to Christine's question earlier. Some of the convenience stores in the area have integrated a scanner into their POS system,
Okay.
and maybe the jury's out. So in some ways, there's different opinions on does it work or does it not. Can ID scan? Sure, some can. But the one thing it definitely does is it makes sure that you're at least checking the ID, and you're
Okay.
not selling alcohol without, like, for example, some of these POS systems require you to scan an ID before you can
Right.
actually complete the sale. So that could help you in the situation where you've just forgotten to even check the ID and the person looks old enough, or maybe you thought you checked the ID because there were a couple in a row, and that could be the difference between failing or
Right.
passing a compliance check.
Yeah.
So just
I will
making
definitely look into that. I have set up actually something on our Square POS um, that it's an age verification thing that you can choose for certain product for any of the products that you have in your system. And so for all of the tobacco products and nicotine products, I've set up an age verification where you quite literally cannot proceed with the payment until you check that. So it's kind of just another step in place that we have to, it kind of triggers like, okay, let's check it. So
Yeah,
everybody gets carded in my store.
that's great.
Great.
I guess the one other question on that is,
Sure.
how will you approach vertical IDs?
So that is underage IDs. I
But I'm saying not well, so
uh,
not every state has vertical IDs that can be underage. You can be over the age of 21 in
okay,
some states, it's still a vertical ID. So
okay,
yeah, how would you approach that generally? Like, would
yeah.
you do you plan to accept vertical IDs? Do you have a policy? Have you thought about like we're not going to accept vertical IDs? I don't know how you're thinking about that.
I think one of my best resources is this. And I mean I could easily make the decision to not do vertical IDs. I did think most of the vertical IDs were underage. That was kind of the telltale sign right off the bat. But again, I don't want to give you an answer that, it's
Yeah,
going to change when I get the license, so and you come in and you check and that's not what we're doing. So again, this would be something that I would have to give some thought to.
sure. Well, just wanted to put that on your radar. So
Perfect. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Great. Any other questions? Not seeing any. So if you want to give us a closing statement or kind of like wrap it up before we deliberate, now it's your chance.
Okay. Sure. So yeah, thank you everybody for your questions. I really appreciate them. It's definitely making me think. I think after we get off this meeting, I'm going to go and do more research and really think about these answers. Um, but ultimately, I I want to get this license because I think there is a desire and a need for it on the east end of Pearl Street. I think that is demonstrated through the petition signatures and the comments that people make. Um, so I think this would be just a small component of our sales. We said 10%, and I'm guessing that's what it would be around. But I think this would kind of help, with convenience. So instead of going to another location while you're buying something at our store, it's just a convenience factor. And I think people will be really happy to see this on Pearl Street. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. Then at this time, we will close for board deliberation.
I think there's a good answers. There's a lot here. I think the plan is headed in the right direction. I don't have any glaring concerns with what they're thinking about. The ID checker book is a really great standard to have for checking IDs, and it sounds like she's been thinking through this and working with it with tobacco products over the last couple of months. So I feel pretty good about what I've heard today.
I agree. I think I mean, she cares, and that came across very readily to me. And she's had the tobacco license for a while and has no issues with that. So I really, the heart's in the right place, and I think she's going to do the best job she can, which is going to be, I think it's going to be enough in most cases. I think she's got a little more research to do, and she knows that. So I appreciate her admitting that to us and being transparent. So that was very important to me. So.
Well, yeah, I agree with a lot of the sentiment. I do worry just about the policy being pretty light and just not really knowing some of the answers, but I also agree that just even doing like that tobacco check through her square is obviously shows a lot of care and effort with that license. It's on Pearl Street, so of course that's always like a busy place. Um, yeah, it's kind of feeling. I'm a little conflicted, but I also have feedback on my microphone, so hold on. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, that fixed Okay, cool. Yeah. Any other deliberation comments or any motions?
Member Haggerty, quickly. I kind of agreed with all the previous statements made by the members, and then Chair Roberts, I do kind of share some of your hesitations, I guess. Because I do, Pearl Street, you're gonna have college kids, you're gonna have high school kids, you're gonna have everyone under the sun trying to, potentially underage students try to, or underage individuals try to get in there. So I just worry that my hope is that you're gonna continue to do some further research, really utilize the police department as a resource, knowing that they're here to help. Um, and I do worry about just you hate to kind of learn as you go because you kind of have to know what you're doing from the get-go, right? In a lot of ways. Um, but I do believe, your heart's in the right place. You kind of, I think you don't, you know what you don't know, and you're ready to kind of fix that, it seems like. Um, so with that said, I think I'm willing to give you kind of I don't know if benefit of the doubt is the right word, but I feel like um, feel good about putting trust or my faith in you that you're going to get to where you need to be by the time you will be selling the product.
I will.
So,
Member Carr, I'll make a motion here to approve the license.
Member
I
Crane,
second
aye.
the motion.
Second. Barnes has got it. Shares my sentiment.
Um, okay, all those in favor say aye.
Member Carr, aye.
Member Barnes, aye.
Member Crane, aye.
Member Haggerty, aye.
Member Roberts, no, but majority rules, and so it is passed. Congratulations.
Thank you.
The
Thank you.
reason I'm hesitant is because I've probably been on this board a long time. No, but I really do worry about those like game nights and those college nights. And so I didn't get to put a stipulation into this motion, and I feel fine about that, but it would be great if you would check back in with us.
I
Um,
100% will. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think we all trust that you're going to follow up with the research. It would just
I
feel
will.
out of place to just say, like, yeah. So, anyway, good luck to you. Super
Thank you so much. Thank you,
great
everybody. Thank
concept.
you.
I have no doubt it'll be really desired down there. So, congrats.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Well,
Appreciate
you
it.
made personal investment in
And
this, and no one has come to complain about your proposal. So you have either neutral or supportive neighborhood. Uh, you've got the ability to succeed. So good luck.
Thank you so much.
And please reach out to Officer Rack. She's awesome. And please feel
I
free to
will.
stop by our hearings, any hearing on a Wednesday and just, we'd love to hear back from the establishments on how things are going.
I will. I will. I promise.
Great, thank you.
Thank you all.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone. Christine, Lisa will be in touch about next steps for you. Okay.
Okay, perfect. All right. Have a good night, everyone.
You too. Okay, perfect. All right. Next we'll move on to agenda item 5, which is matters from city attorney.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Without going into the details of the emails that I've sent you, I want to make sure that everybody has had the opportunity to review. I sent you two emails, one of substance, one just procedural, letting you know, hey, we need to bring our calendars today. But the one before that dealt with the court order. Can you let me know just with a thumbs up or something, letting me know that you received it? Okay. All right. And that appears an affirmative response from all the board members with the exception of Member Crane.
I'm not sure I received an email regarding a court order. Can you name the case?
Dagabi.
Yes, I did receive that.
Okay, okay. All right, very well. Do we want to go over calendars right now, or do we want to save that for matters from the licensing clerk?
I will defer to Elisa on that one.
Okay.
You can do it at whatever time works best for the
Okay.
BLA.
Now might be a good time. As I understand it, and obviously I don't get the information until you get the information because it's a different part of the city attorney's office that deals with the compliance portion. But as I understand it, the next BLA meeting will be a long one with multiple show cause hearings. Um, Certainly sometimes, oh, not next month, October. Or is it in October? It's the October meeting. Okay. So we're going to have several show cause. And certainly the goal is always to work collaboratively between the prosecution office and the licensees to work out a stipulation, but sometimes they don't. And again, I find out when you find out. So the licensing manager and I were talking that it might be a good idea to set a special meeting in case the October meeting starts running really long. So if we end up needing it, great. If we don't need it, we'll just we'll get rid of it. So, Elisa, when were we thinking? Was it between October and September and October, or October and November?
We were thinking between October and November because these will not be able to be scheduled until the October meeting.
That's right. Okay. And the October meeting is when?
October 21st.
Okay. Thank you.
And
All right.
the November meeting is November 18th.
Okay. So I'll turn it over to our chair to see if there are some dates that might work.
All right. Would the following Wednesday, October 28th work? And maybe more towards the 5 o'clock hour, because hopefully it won't be like a full, it'll be shorter.
Yep, we can always schedule it anytime that's convenient for.
Yeah, that works for me.
Okay, that's 2.
That works for me as well.
That's 3. That's quorum.
I can do the 28th.
All right, that's 4. Member Barnes.
That's fine with me. Yes.
Okay, boom. All right.
Nice.
And that's it from me, and I will turn off my camera now.
And
That's
do you
easy.
think starting at 5 will be okay?
Yep, absolutely.
That's okay for everyone?
Should we budget, 3 hours for that? Approximately 2 to 3 hours? Do we?
We'll
have
get
I
a,
think it's
we
a
will
smart
certainly get
thing
a
to do.
better sense when we find out how many hearings we'll have and how many will be stipulated. Yep. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Next you have matters from licensing clerk. There's one transfer on there for you. And then just the normal things, the special event liquor permits list, and then the liquor renewals list. And I don't believe licensing has anything else since we talked about our scheduling for that potentially extra hearing. So I will go ahead and hand it agenda item 7, items from the authority.
Anything from any members?
Nope.
I'm not seeing any. Nope.
Perfect. Then just adjournment is left.
All right.
Wow.
Yeah. So meeting adjourned on August 19th at 3:46 p.m.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Everyone, bye.
Can you
Bye.
take a motion
Oh,
on the adjournment?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Thank
Sorry.
you.
I
That's
knew I was
okay.
forgetting something. It felt like way too short. I would make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
I'll second that
All
motion.
those in favor say, oh yeah, go ahead.
I
Who
second
said?
second the motion.
All those in favor say aye. Member Roberts, aye.
Member Barnes, aye.
Member Carr, aye.
Member Crane, aye.
Member Haggerty, aye.
Okay, meeting adjourned at 3:47.
Thank you
Bye,
all
guys.
so
Bye.
much. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.